Quiz 9, question 5. This question states that your patient with brain injury is consistently oriented to person and place, requires supervision with new learning, and has little awareness of how his injuries will impact his ability to return to work. This is Rancho 7, automatic and appropriate. These people are very high functioning, cognitively speaking. However, Rancho 7 is really characterized by a lack of insight into their deficits. So as you move from 7 to 8, in 8 you start to have some awareness of your deficiencies and you can compensate for them. For example, you may know that you've got short-term memory loss, and so you compensate by using sticky notes to remind yourself to turn off the oven or to pick up your daughter, etc., etc. In Rancho 7, you're not able to do those compensations. You still lack insight, and you may overestimate your abilities and think, oh yeah, I can go back to work tomorrow and I won't have any difficulties whatsoever, when in fact you would not be successful at all. The other thing that characterizes Rancho 7 from 6 is this consistent orientation. In Rancho 6, you're still confused and not consistently oriented. In 7, you become consistently oriented, at least to a person in place. Time, not so much. And I'm half the time not oriented to the date, so that makes sense. You're oriented to yourself and where you are, but not necessarily the time. And again, I think of my former patient who was injured many, many years ago, and he's kind of stuck in a Rancho 7. He lacks insight. He wants to get a job at the airport working as a janitor, and he thinks that, within a few months he'll work his way up to a manager position, when in fact he hasn't worked in 15 years because of his brain injury. He still is inappropriate. He thought it was okay to drink from the shared milk carton. So in a group home, everybody uses the same milk, and he would repeatedly take the milk out of the fridge and drink from the carton, and he just could not understand why this was not an appropriate thing to do when you're living with people who aren't related to you. In addition, he never knew the date. He sometimes got the year, but he definitely knew where he was. He knew his name. He could participate in 1 hour's worth of therapy. He could learn new exercises, so I could teach him an exercise program, and he was able to retain that and have carryover from one session to the next. Rancho's 7.